ओरिएंटेड डेटाबेस जिसमें है ऑब्जेक्ट ओरिएंटेड डेटाबेस, लिमिटेशन ऑफ DBMS, ये सब है। ठीक है, इसको शॉर्ट फॉर्म में देखते हैं। क्विक रोड मैप व्हाट वी विल कवर very short by why object oriented database exists and why RDBMS feels awkward. What object relational database do? Complex data type like address and author list, inheritance and types in SQL, parents and child classes, array and multi sets, list of things, object identity and references, object model, ODL, OQL, etc. Differences, reduction in plan. A database is a think of a database as a big organized cupboard of information. Database is a big organized cupboard of information. Traditional database RDBMS store information in tables like Excel sheet. That works great for many things like bank record attendance, but gets tricky if the items are complex. Object-oriented database lets you store complex things the way a programmer think about them as objects. This matches modern software. Example, a car is an object. It has a parts, engine and wheels. Behave like start and stop. RDBMS checks. RDBMS, you break a car into tables. In OODB, object-oriented database, you can keep it together. Why object-oriented database? Simple and reason. Limitation of relational database. RDBMS is like a table, good for flat data but bad for deep, nested or multi-part objects. If something has many parts, you'll end up creating many small tablets and joining them. This is complex and slow to manage. Real life example, an address has house number, street, city, pin. If you want to treat the whole address as one thing, it becomes awkward. Need for object-oriented database lets you define user-defined types like address type, method, find, pin, and support inheritance. A student is the kind of person. It's natural for programmers. Your program objects and database objects can look similar. Fewer translation. Example, in a games app, each character has inventory, list of items, skills, objects, and relationship. Object relational database, the hybrid. Many commercial DBMS are relational but added object feature. This is called object relational. It keeps the strength of SQL plus add some object features. You use SQL but you can create a type address as this. This is a complex data type, very simple. SQL simplified. Create type address as this. Create table student. Address is one column but you can access address.city if needed. Address.city. A single contact uh, contact card holds name plus address. You can look at the whole card and read the city field. Multi-valued attributes, array and multitask. If something has multiple values, author of book, keywords, object, relational DBs let you use array and multi-sets. Array, order list, author 1, author 2, multi-sets, unordered bag. Example है create type book as this. Okay, ये structure है. You can query authors 1, get the first book and check if object oriented in keyword. Think of a book having a shelf of authors in order, array and tags, multisets where order doesn't matter. Types and inheritance in SQL child friendly. What is type inheritance? Make a general type like university person and then derive students and staff from it. They inherit the attribute. University person has name and address. Student under university person as program and DOB. Staff under university as designation and salary. If you ask for all university member, you'll automatically get staff plus student. Real life analogy. Think of vehicle as a parent type. Car and bike inheritance from vehicle and have wheels and brand, but car may have AC, bike may have handle. Type, object identity and reference. Simple pointer idea. In OOP, every object can have a unique object ID. Instead of foreign keys, you can store reference book, a direct reference to a book object in the library. ये है create table this and this structure. Next आते हैं object model ODL, OQL. What they are? Very simple. Object definition language, the SQL, DDL, but for objects. You define classes, attributes and relationships. Class, attribute, string and ODL का example. Like SQL, DDL, but for objects. Data definition language जैसे है वैसे SQL में क्या है, ये ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए you define classes, attribute and relationship. Next OQL, SQL like SQL but for objects, ठीक है. एंड इसका एग्जांपल क्या है, OODB select b dot author ऑब्जेक्ट के लिए हो रहा है. एवरीथिंग इज सेम लाइक SQL but for object. Okay, moving to the last one, last but not the least, OODMS versus object relational database. Like object relational database started as RDBMS, added object feature types and array, keeps SQL strength and query optimization, good for traditional DB. Object oriented database built for object ideas, tight inheritance with programming language, great for high performance. ठीक है, ये है रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल इसका है. एक्सेल अपग्रेडेड विथ सेक्शन टू स्टोर लिस्ट एंड मिनी ऑब्जेक्ट. और ORDBMS, OODBMS, a toy chest where you keep complete toys. Short summary is this: object oriented DME where your data is complex, many part nested and behavior rich. Use object relational when you want SQL plus some object power. इसमें आ जाएगा. Learn these keywords: complex type, inheritance, arrays, object ID. Small and easy example का आंसर क्या है? What is OODB? To store the work naturally with complex object and their behavior. Complex type क्या है? A single user defined type that group multiple fields. Array and multisets में array ये है reference book library. ODL purpose क्या है? To define class, attributes and all this. ठीक है. OQL to query object syntax and relationship. So एक बार रियल लाइफ एग्जांपल से इसको रिमेंबर करने के लिए तरीका देखते हैं. एड्रेस टाइप, थिंक एज अ पोस्टल एड्रेस, वन फील्ड बट विथ पार्ट्स. बुक विथ ऑथर, एरे. बुक विथ लिस्ट ऑफ ऑथर इन एन ऑर्डर. स्टूडेंट अंडर यूनिवर्सिटी पर्सन, स्टूडेंट इनहेरिटेंस नेम एंड एड्रेस फ्रॉम यूनिवर्सिटी पर्सन. प्रोकरेंट रेफरेंस में प्रोकरेंटमेंट एंट्री पॉइंट्स to the exact book object on shelf. Or OQL query, give me all the book titles where student name is Anand, like asking the librarian. ये था इस पार्ट को, इसका ये पार्ट. उसके बाद यूनिट 14 करेंगे जिसमें डेटा वारहाउसिंग, डेटा माइनिंग के कॉन्सेप्ट्स हैं.